Welcome to the Bible Story Box channel.
Bible Story Box.
Hello viewers, in today's Bible story video we will be talking about the story of King Solomon. But before that, kindly subscribe to this channel. Now viewers, let's get started. A long time ago in the land of Israel, there was a great king named David. David had many sons and he loved God with all his heart. He ruled wisely for many years. But as King David grew old, he knew it was time for someone else to take his place as king. So he chose his son Solomon, among many other sons he had, to be the next king of Israel. Before David passed away, he gave Solomon some very important advice. He said, "Always follow God's ways and obey his commands. If you do this, you will be a good and wise king." Solomon listened carefully to his father's words because he wanted to be the best king he could be. One night, after Solomon became king, he traveled to a place called Gibeon to worship God and offer sacrifices. That night, while Solomon was sleeping, God appeared to him in a dream. God spoke directly to Solomon and said,
"Ask for anything you want, and I will give it to you."
Solomon thought about what would help him be a good king. He prayed in his dream and said,
"Lord my God, please give me wisdom so I can tell right from wrong and lead your people fairly."
God was very pleased with Solomon's request. He said,
Because you didn't ask for riches or a long life or the defeat of your enemies, but instead asked for wisdom to help and rule well. I will make you wiser than anyone who has ever lived or ever will live. And because your heart is so good, I will also give you riches and honor like no other king.
King Solomon receives wisdom from God in a special dream. After the special dream, two women came before King Solomon's with a big problem to test his wisdom. Now both women stood before King Solomon, arguing over who the living baby belonged to. Solomon has great wisdom. He thought carefully about how to solve this problem with God-given wisdom. King Solomon called for one of his servants. He asked for a sword and commanded them to divide the baby. Immediately, one of the women cried out in horror,
"No, don't hurt the baby. Give him to her."
The real mother shows her love by choosing to save her child. The other woman crossed her arms. At that moment, King Solomon knew exactly who the real mother was. Solomon declared by pointing at the first woman and said,
"She is the true mother. Give her back her baby."
The news of his wisdom spread far and wide. Everyone in Israel heard about this wise decision. Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, fulfilling his father David's dream. This was one of his most famous achievements. Building the temple took him 7 years to complete. After the completion of the temple, the Ark of the Covenant was brought into the temple. God's presence filled it with a thick cloud. The priests staggered backward, unable to stand under the weight of the glory of God. Solomon stepped forward, lifted his hands toward heaven, and prayed. Solomon's kingdom became the envy of the known world. He formed alliances, expanded trade, and built a powerful navy with the help of King Hiram of Tyre. Solomon's palaces were marvels of stone and cedar, decorated with golden shields, ivory thrones, and peacocks from distant lands. One of the most famous visitors was the Queen of Sheba, who traveled a great distance with her camels, loaded with spices, gold, and precious stones, to test Solomon's wisdom with riddles and questions. She asked her hardest questions, and Solomon answered them all with calm insight. When she saw his riches, his temple, and heard his answers, she was overwhelmed, saying,
"What I heard in my land was only half the truth. Your wisdom and prosperity exceed the report."
Solomon was not only a builder and a ruler, he was also a writer, a thinker, a man who searched the depths of human experience. He wrote over 3,000 proverbs and 1,000 songs. His sayings were collected in the book of Proverbs, offering timeless wisdom on everything from discipline to justice to friendship. But as he grew older, Solomon began to reflect more deeply. The sparkle of gold no longer dazzled. The pleasures of the palace rang hollow. In the book of Ecclesiastes, he wrestled with the meaning of life. "Vanity of vanities," he wrote, "all is vanity." He searched for purpose in knowledge, in wealth, in work, and found them all fleeting. And yet, he ended with a quiet truth. "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." He also wrote the Song of Songs, a passionate poem of love and longing, but Solomon's heart didn't stay faithful. In his old age, in his pursuit of peace through political marriage, he married hundreds of foreign women, many for political alliances. These women brought their own gods and convinced Solomon to build altars for them. God appeared to Solomon a second time, not with promises but with a warning.
Because you have not kept my covenant, I will tear the kingdom from your son.
The judgment was not immediate. Though Solomon reigned for 40 years in peace and splendor, seeds of unrest were planted. After his death, his son Rehoboam ascended the throne and proved unwise by making poor choices that led to civil war. He ignored his father's elder advisors and listened to arrogant youth. His harsh words caused the northern tribes to rebel, and the kingdom split into two, Israel in the north, Judah in the south. Solomon's golden age ended in division, a reminder that even the wisest can fall when they forget their foundation. Dear Bible Story Box viewers, I hope you enjoyed today's Bible story. For this reason, don't forget to subscribe and share for more videos like this. Solomon remains a symbol of wisdom and divine favor, but also a cautionary tale. His life teaches that wisdom is a gift, but it must be lived out. Wealth and power can be blessings or distractions. Even the greatest leaders need humility and faithfulness. Remember, when faced with tough choices or challenges,